Mike Lodge, the business advisor, and it's a Monday morning. It's a beautiful day. I think we're in the final week of October. So it is a wonderful time to be alive. I love the fall. One, because it's nice and cool. It's in the 40s. In fact, it's in the 40s right now. But it's so nice out. I mean, it's like you go outside and you breathe in, you get all this fresh air that comes into your lungs, and you say, okay, this is good. This is what life is about. Listen, I don't know. I'm getting kind of frustrated on this inflation and recession situation that we're in at the moment. I saw Nancy Pelosi over the weekend on some interviews saying that she needed to change the narration of inflation and the discussion of inflation. Well, the problem is she can't change it, because what has happened is that based upon her leadership role in Congress and her drive to spend more money and to tax more, those two items right there drive up what is called inflation. When government spends more, and you can go back to Professor Friedman at Stanford, and he's given a lot of talks about what inflation is all about. When government begins to spend money, and we spent trillions of dollars of money, your and my money, and when a government begins to tax and attack business, you are going to see inflation. And that's exactly what has happened. And then on top of that, then we had other issues of really bad policies of a president who said, okay, we are no longer going to produce energy in the United States. Wants to go, everybody to go electric vehicle, but did nothing to plan for the infrastructure of to handle electric vehicles. And on the other side is no one at the moment can afford an electric vehicle. Gosh, I can't even afford to buy a used car at the moment. Listen, I'm just like all you guys out there too. I mean, I'm operating a small business here, and I am struggling. And every single day I feel the pressure of this struggle. Even with the money that I bring in off my business, I'm looking at, okay, how can I save money here? Because at the moment, during the pandemic, when we had the pandemic, I used a lot of my savings to survive. I was small enough business that I didn't qualify for PPP loans. I didn't qualify for unemployment. I didn't qualify for anything. So I literally had to draw down from my savings. And I hated to do that, but it was the only way I could survive. The courts were shut down. Nothing was being mediated at the moment. It was a tough time. So as a small business person, I feel each of your struggles out there because I'm going through it myself. And as soon as I knew that the government was going to spend this huge amount of money, I knew that not only we were going to be getting off a pandemic and it was going to take a while to build back up from a pandemic. I even gave lectures on this podcast of what we need to do to build up and how we need to plan for it. But the problem is, I wasn't expecting that the government was going to spend that much money that would drive us into this grade of inflation. And then we had supply chain issues, we had oil and gas issues, we had a whole bunch of different things that happened because of policies within the government that were set by the government, that were put into place by the government. And so when Nancy says, well, she needs to change the narrative, the only narrative that they have at the moment is to talk about what caused inflation. But she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to go there because that inflation blood is on her hands. It's on every Democrat's hands. I said this morning on Twitter, I said, what's driving this election this year is based upon the financial feelings of America. If you look at individuals not paying their bills at the moment, they can't do it. If you look at the credit card debt, people are no longer paying on their credit cards because they don't have the cash flow to support it. Inflation has eaten so much away of what you earn that it it creates a big problem. I know because I'm going through the same thing. I know what money I'm bringing in every single month, but I also know that inflation has just literally killed me. Thank God I'm operating from home, that I'm not having to drive that many places, and that my work is done virtually through Zoom. I meet with all my business clients through Zoom. I meet my mediation through Zoom. But if I had to drive and if I had to maintain an office in an office building, I would be in deep trouble. I'd be bankrupt by now. So I understand what the small businesses are going through. I understand what individuals are going through because I'm living through both of those situations. Now, what can we do to get us out of this? Well, for one thing, government has got to stop spending so much money. They have got to begin, just like you and I have to do, is sit down, review the budget, and cut. Get those sharp scissors out and start cutting away. Because we can no longer support the arts. We can no longer support the research, all these research projects that are worthless. We overspend billions and billions and billions of dollars a year. And we shouldn't be doing that. And you and I both know that. We've talked about this so many different times, and other people on other talk radio shows have talked about this. But we have got to stop this spending. We've got to tell government, stop it. Just stop it. Listen, this election in November isn't about abortion. It's not about anything else except inflation and a recession that we're currently in. That's what it's about. Because we are feeling it. You and I, it's every single day when we get up and we think, well, what am I going to feed myself for lunch? And you say, well, I've got some bread here. Can't go out anymore. It's too expensive. Lunch is out, is gone by the wayside, because if you are still going out and eating lunch and having Starbucks coffees every morning that are $6 and $9 a piece, you're wasting money, because your first priority is to think about the money that you need to survive on. And that is your rent or your house payment, your utilities, and food, and gas to get to work. Those are your 4 priorities at the moment. Whatever's left over is what you're going to pay down your debt, because if you've got debt, you've got to get rid of that debt as quickly as possible. I think the biggest lesson that people have learned in this recession in inflationary time is that debt really kills you off. So I'm hoping that this is a good learning experience for most Americans, that debt is not good. Debt is an evil, because you never know what the government's going to do that's going to drive the economy either up or down. And what we've seen at the moment is that government has driven the economy down to its lowest levels in history. And we're having to live through it. I hope that later on, each of you say, gosh, I remember the time in 2022. Well, life was tough. We go through these cycles in America because sometimes we get politicians in that just don't know what they're doing. They think that their political agenda is more important than what the needs are of the American people, and that's where we're standing at the moment. A political agenda of theirs on abortion, of discussions of abortion and women's productive care, LGBT. All these other political social agendas that they have, because they think that's going to get votes. But unfortunately, those don't get votes. What gets voted is, how are you going to handle the economy? How are you going to make it better for me to live? How are you going to make it so that I can support my family and still have a little left over that I can save? Because no one's saving at the moment. Everyone's spending every dollar that they're getting in. That's why deposits into banks are almost at zero at the moment, because people are not depositing money into the bank. When they put it in, it's gone. There's no extra money there for the banks to use for lending ability, because it's gone. Americans are using it as soon as it comes in. It's gone. So the deposits into banks have dropped so low that it is a very concerning situation. That's why I've been calling, do we need to start looking at the solvency of these banks? Because I'm hearing stories where people going to the bank and trying to get cash out, and let's say they try to get $4,000 out, they can't get it out. They have to wait. They have to take it out in increments. Have people who have debit cards and credit cards and their usage has been dropped down to, $200 a day. So there is something happening within the banking system that we're not talking enough about, and we're not looking at close enough. We're not asking the tough questions of these banks. Are you solvent? Do you have enough cash in your banks to take care of any cash withdrawals that clients need to take out? Those are the types of questions that we should be asking, because that is the next big thing. If people are late and they're not paying their credit card debt, there's a problem there. People are not paying their mortgage debt. There's a problem there. If people are not paying their car loans, there's a problem there. And all three of those things are happening at the moment. So we have to look at the solvency of these banks and how, if something should happen, is our money protected? Look at your banking situation. Look at your financial situation. It's a very important. Listen, for 2023, we only have 2 more months, and 2023 is going to be here. Have you planned your budget? Listen, if you want a free budget, go to my website. I'll give the link down below in the description of this program. I'll give you a link down below. I have a free budget there for you to use. It's free of charge. No, I'm not selling you anything. I'm not trying to get you to do anything. Just use that free budget. It's on an Excel spreadsheet. You can put your budget in and actually put in your actuals right beside it, so you know exactly what you're spending for 2023. It's time to start looking at our budgets. It's time for us to start getting ready for 2023. 2023 is going to be a tough year. It's not going to get easier. We have too many other things in the economy that's going to happen that is going to be tough on the full overall economics of this nation. I hate talking about this. Every single day I have to talk to you about inflation. But I feel that it's so important because I don't want you guys to be struggling like I'm struggling. I don't want you guys to feel the pressure of every single day of not knowing what your dollar is going to do that day. And I always found in my life that planning was the best process of getting to where I need to be. There are some things that I have looked at and I've cut out. I've cut out most of my entertainment. So now I'm down to the free stuff of entertainment. Thank God for YouTube, because YouTube entertains me a lot. But we need to start thinking about 2023 budgets. It's there down in the description for you to use. Use it, please. Listen, 2023 is going to be another year, and it might even be worse than 2022. We don't know what's going to happen, because we have a government that's out of control. We have a political agenda government that is not thinking about the needs and the financial needs of its citizens. So you and I, we're going to have to work at this. We're going to have to dig in, and we're going to have to budget. We're going to have to plan. And we can do this together. If you need any help, just let me know. I'll be more than willing to help you. You can arrange for a 30-minute free consultation, and we can work together for 30 minutes at least. This is Mike Lodge. Everybody go out and have a great day. I'll talk with you soon. Bye.